A number of years ago, I thought I was concluding a real estate transaction in Kenya. But boy, was I in for a surprise. I had already been working on it for 6 years, and we were right down to what I thought was the finish line when a court refused to confirm the transaction because at the last minute, a relative had risen up and said, "I don't agree to the sales price." Well, I finally went another 2 to 3 years and got the transaction finished, but not before I was tempted on numerous occasions to completely give up. You see, in Kenya, more recent law allows for not only spouses, but all of the children to be involved in signing off on a real estate transaction. And in this case, the little 3-acre piece of property that I was buying was owned by the estate of a man who had 2 wives. And along with those 2 wives came 12 or 14 children, all of whom had to agree to sell this property. So when I had entered into the transaction with one guy, the oldest son of one of the wives, we negotiated a price and went down the road for 6 years thinking everything was fine and that everybody had signed off on it, until one sister rose up and said, "I don't agree to the price." Well, another 2 or 3 years later, with an increased price, the transaction was finally done. I want to encourage you today that just when you think things are finished, they might not be, but in the end, you trust God to have the final word and that you'll hear His voice say, "It is finished." But boy, was it a trial. All 9 years long of it was a trial. Well, I had so many opportunities to give up hope. The Bible says in James chapter 1, "Consider it pure joy." Some of the Old English words were rejoice and be exceedingly glad when you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Well, I can honestly tell you there were times on that 9-year journey that I was not exceedingly glad and I was not rejoicing. But I wasn't rejoicing or being glad when I was looking at the wrong things. You see, what God wanted to do was to develop my perseverance, and He wanted to develop my character through all of it. And when I could have the presence of mind and heart to back away from the momentary difficulties and see that God was building something in my character through it, it was then that I could be joyful and I could be glad that something was being built in me that couldn't happen any other way. One writer said that the grace of God given to the soul is capable of growth and enlargement. And if either growth and enlargement are not part of the equation or being brought to the situation, weakness will take over. And eventually with weakness comes decay and death. Just know today that wherever you're being pressed or challenged through trials or problems or unpleasant situations, that when God has His way through those difficulties to work His nature and to work perseverance into your character, then there can come great joy in you. And it can come, that joy can come even in the midst of the struggle. You don't need to wait till the end and it's all resolved and it all looks pretty and the bow has been tied before you can rejoice. One writer said this: Christianity teaches men to be joyful in troubles. Such exercises are sent from God's love. And trials in the way of your duty, life's duty, Christian duty, will brighten our graces now and our crowns at the end. Let us take care in times of difficulty that patience and not our passionate emotions are set at work in us. Whatever is said or done, let patience have the saying and doing of it. When the work of patience is complete, it will furnish all that is necessary for our Christian journey and warfare. We should not pray so much for the removal of trials and difficulties and affliction as for wisdom to make right use of those trials and affliction. So today I pray for you and for me in the future when real intense trials and affliction come, that I won't pray for the removal of those things, but I'll pray that I make right use of them. That is God's will for us. So, even in the midst of it, count it all joy, my brother or my sister, when you face trials of many kinds, so that patience may work and perseverance may have their complete work done in us. Thanks for watching today. Visit our website. We'd like to pray for you where you have prayer needs. You can see ways that you can volunteer and help our team grow. And thank you for remembering us in your giving. God bless you.